views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, Phoenix, Brother Mike, back on the radio, hardcorechristianity.com. Welcome to the program. Welcome to KXXT Christian Radio. Thank you for tuning in today. Today's Bible study, Kevin Spacey. This dude is Spacey. Hey, if you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on, particularly somebody who has a sexual addiction or somebody who has lust problems, this is going to be a program that will be vastly valuable to them. Thank you for tuning in. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center, 35 years of experience. We're on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road in the heart of Maricopa County, Arizona. On the website, hardcorechristianity.com. You'll see a list of all of our services. Our next free seminar is December 29th. You can sign up on the website. You can sign up to watch all of my Friday night teaching services. They start at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, Pacific Time during the summer. They are broadcast on youtube.com/houseofhealingaz. youtube.com/houseofhealingaz. Don't forget about Sister Karen on page 1 of the website. She'll be happy to sell your home for you with honesty and integrity. All of our services are broadcast either on live stream or on our YouTube channel. Thursday night, we have preaching, healing, teaching, and deliverance. That is also broadcast live, 7 p.m. Mountain Time during the winter, Pacific during the summer. And you can pray along with us. We have many people healed and delivered from demons watching online. It's very common. Don't forget to hit the PayPal button and send us another donation like you have for the last 15 years. We are so thankful you gave us the Deliverance Center and the new Healing House. Both are up and running and doing well. All of our radio programs are always available on soundcloud.com/hardcore-christianity. Spacey, Kevin Spacey. Whoa. What happened? Well, you know what happened. He's following Harvey Weinstein and hundreds of other people in Hollywood. Sex addiction is one of the top, if not the top, sin in Hollywood. Everybody is committing adultery with everybody. Everybody's involved in bisexuality and homosexuality. It's absolutely incredible. Hollywood is the sickest city in America, soaked in sin, and number one in hedonism. Poor Kevin Spacey. Check this out. I've been teaching on this subject for years. Here's another textbook example of what I've been teaching on for years, literally years. Kevin Spacey is one of the best actors in Hollywood. He's one of the best impressionists in Hollywood. He is incredulously talented person, super smart, filthy rich. This guy's had it all. He's been in over 50 movies. He's usually a headliner in every movie that comes out. And suddenly a wave of people have come forward claiming he sexually assaulted them. And the allegations, of course, are, for the most part, true. And people are sitting there scratching their heads, see? They're saying, why would somebody who has everything, and this guy literally has everything, fame and fortune and anything you want, money coming out of his ears, why would he assault people and try to have intercourse with children, boys as young as 14? Why would he do it? As soon as this came out, of course, the same thing happened to him that happened to Weinstein. He lost his House of Cards Netflix series. He's losing sponsors left and right. His reputation is mauled in Hollywood, absolutely mauled. In Hollywood, they celebrate adultery, bisexuality, and homosexuality, but the devil hasn't got Hollywood to the point where they rejoice over pedophiles. That's something he's working on now, and that will manifest later when pedophilia becomes the norm here in America. The devil's currently working on that. That's one of his next big projects. But I wanted to share some things with you. Sexual addiction or sex addicts, people that have a chronic compulsion for orgasms and sexual activity, believe it or not, it's not about the sex. Right? A human being doesn't need 6 or 7 or 8 orgasms a day. There's no physical need to masturbate that much a day. There's no physical need to have intercourse that many times per day. If a sex addict is married or in a relationship, homosexual marriage or heterosexual, doesn't matter, and the other spouse is not a sex addict, that person is living in a living hell. There's nothing they can do to possibly satisfy the urges of the other sex. It just won't work. The root cause of this, from a secular standpoint, is the malfunctioning of the brain. But the truth of the matter is, it's all based on other factors which involve spirituality and unclean spirits of lust or sexual perversion. These powerful demons brought down the Roman Empire, brought down every major city in the ancient world that was hedonistic. Pompeii, for example, was loaded with sex addicts. And it's spreading around America. As you can clearly see, sexual addiction is all over the place. Las Vegas, New Orleans, San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York. Cities which are cauldrons of sexual promiscuity and perversion. But believe it or not, it's not just the sex. That's not the main problem. In the same way, treating an addict, the drugs and or the alcohol, is not the main problem. The main problem is the wounds the person picked up in childhood, the pain they suffered as a child, and the spirit of rejection that entered their body and then subsequently let in spirits of sexual perversion and spirits of lust. In the secular world, the way I was trained, I worked as a secular counselor for 25 years, it was a brain problem. It was a chemical imbalance. That's what they told us. And that is not the main root. The main root is the pain and the wounds they received when they were in childhood. Check it out. Now, secular counselors and psychotherapists and psychiatrists have researched sex addicts over the years and then now have a consensus as to the background of sexual addicts. In a recent survey, and it was a big one, some very interesting information came out. 87% of addicts came from a family where somebody else was addicted in that family. Siblings, parents, grandparents, and so on. And that is usually 100% too. I 100% agree with that because in your family tree, the addicts, drug, alcohol, sex, work, whatever it is, let in these spirits. And whenever these spirits enter a family, they don't go to other families. They always stay in that family tree and they go down the family tree. So the same addictions, the same sin that was up the family tree also goes down that tree. So you'll see patterns in family trees that are similar. Patterns of lots of alcoholics, patterns of lots of unemployment, lots of spiritual poverty, lots of financial poverty, lots of drug addicts, lots of those kind of things. You'll see that pattern floating down the family tree, and it's because these unclean spirits bring with them these uncontrollable urges to manage trials and tribulations and stress and pressure in life using an addictive methodology. That's the number one factor. Number two, they researched this and 75% of the people reported being physically abused, 81% reported being sexually abused, 97% reported being emotionally abused. Can you imagine that? In almost all the cases involving men in the survey, they found they had a father wound. Let's go back to Kevin Spacey. Listen to this. It's very interesting. His brother, older brother, Randy Fowler, he's his older brother, came out recently and in an article explained what happened to him and Kevin when they were kids. Both of them were abused as children. He said, quote, "We grew up with abuse and a house of horrors. Our violent dad whipped me with a riding cord. I never had children in case that evil personality could be passed on. Randy Fowler never got married and never had kids because he was afraid the personality of his dad would pass to his children. What he should have said and what he meant to say was, the demons would not pass down. His dad raped him and beat him starting when he was 14 years old. It says he took the abuse hoping that it would spare Kevin the abuse from his dad. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. The third factor involved in sex addicts, the research study found that they came from rigid, disengaged families. Here you have, once again, the spirit of rejection, the number one demon of dysfunctional families. In the survey, 80% of the men had a deep father wound. 77% of sex addiction patients reported their families were either rigid, dogmatic, or inflexible. 87% reported that their families were disengaged, detached, uninvolved, and emotionally absent. They came from an environment where failure was normal. And so the unclean spirits take the kids, the rejection demon takes the kids, lets the lust demons in, and then hyperventilates their sexual drive. And the person uses their sexuality to manage the pain, the emotional pain, the trials, the tribulations, the disappointments, the heartaches of their life. If you know someone or you are someone who has this pattern of sexual addiction, drug addiction, alcoholic addiction, that what you're doing is not your problem. It's far deeper than that. You're eligible for free counseling services at the Arizona Deliverance Center if you're a Christian. 602-636-5800. See you next time.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.